Hi boys and girls, we are on lesson 3. Our I can statement for today is I can draw and label a bar graph to represent data and relate the count scale to the number line. So for today, if you do have graph paper, that would be great to use. If you don't, that's okay. I'm just going to be using my whiteboard, so you can use a piece of paper, that's fine. We do have a sprint for today. So our sprint, this is part A. Remember, when you complete a sprint, you start your timer for 2 minutes. Once your timer goes off, your pencil goes down, your hands go up, so that you can get ready for part B. Good luck. All right, here's part B. Remember, your goal for part B is to get one more than you did on part A. You're going to start your timer once you're ready, and when the timer goes off, you're going to get ready for our application problem. So good luck. All right, awesome job, boys and girls. So here's our application problem for today. Our application problem says, use the tally chart to fill in the picture graph. Number of books read, Jose 8, Laura 5, and we don't know Linda, how many Linda has read yet. So part B, we're going to draw a tape diagram to show how many more books Jose read than Laura. Part C, if Jose, Laura, and Linda read 21 books altogether, how many books did Linda read? And part D is complete the tally chart and the graph. So I'm going to zoom out so that you can see my board. So I have already checked off read because we've already read it. I've drawn my picture of 8 circles and 5 circles for Jose and Laura. And I have my tape diagram over here showing me 8 books read by Jose, the 5 read by Laura, and then our remaining question mark to figure out how many is left. So if we have our whole now is 8, and we have our 2 parts. One part we know is 5, and the other part we're still wondering. So we're going to do 8 minus 5. So who can tell me what 8 minus 5 is? Good, 3. So we know that 5 and 3 equals 8. So Jose read 3 more books than Laura did. Now, it says if Jose, Laura, and Linda read 21 books altogether, how many books did Linda read? So first we need to add up how many books Jose and Laura read. So Jose read 8 and Laura read 5. So we need to do 8 plus 5. What do we get? Good, 13. And now we know that the total, so that's how many Jose and Laura have read altogether. Jose and Laura have read 13 books. But they know that altogether, the 3 of them have read 21 books. So now we need to figure out how many Linda has read. So we do 21 minus 13. I want you to use a place value chart to figure that out on your own. I'm going to write the answer up here. So once you're ready, you can play the video again and get started and see what the answer is to check your work. So 21 minus 13 is 8. So Linda has read 8 books. So I'm going to draw 8 circles above Linda to show that she read 8 books. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we've drawn our picture, our sentence could be Linda read 8 books. And if we were going to show that in tallies, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've read, drawn, and written our work. Nice. job. Let me zoom out so we can move on. So let's look at this. It says, turn your application graph sideways like me. What do you notice? Yeah, the pictures now are going to the side. So it's like we just took our graph and we flipped it to the side, so now it's going across. So how can you tell by looking at the graph which category has more and which has less? Well, I know that mammals has the most because it goes up higher. How do you know which one's less or the least? Good. The fish is the least because this graph is the smallest. Does the data change if I turn the graph sideways? No, it still shows that mammals have 8, and that says the most. Fish have the least with only 3. So our data didn't change, we just changed the way that our graph looks. So here it says, we've learned we can show the same data in a table and in a picture graph. Guess what? We can show our information another way too. So today, we're going to use a bar graph to show the data from our animal classification table. So we're going to show bird, mammal, reptile, and fish in our bar graph and my whiteboard behind me. So if I write bird, mammal, reptile, and fish. So I'm going to use a circle to show those. So it says with the bird, there are 4 birds. So they all have to start at the same beginning, the same start line. So I'm going to draw that. Now bird has 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. A mammal has 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A reptile has 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a fish only has 3. So we've learned another way that we can show our information. This is called a bar graph. You also might see it without the boxes if you're using a graph paper. It would be shaded in like this. And when you look at this, you can tell that the mammal has the most because the bar graph is the biggest in this one. And the fish has the least because the bar graph is the smallest. So let's answer some questions. How many more mammals than reptiles are there? How many fewer birds than reptiles are there? And how would the graph change if we added 4 more birds to the birds category? So let me zoom out. And it says, our first question asked us, how many more mammals than reptiles are there? So let's look at our mammals. Let's see how many mammals there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mammals. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reptiles. So we would do, to figure out how many fewer there were, or how many more mammals and reptiles there are, we would do 8 minus 5. So we can find the difference between the two. So if we did 8 minus 5, what would we get? Good, 3. So there are 3 more mammals than reptiles. Now the next question asks, how many fewer birds than reptiles are there? So birds have 5, reptiles have 5, and birds have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, do we need to write a subtraction sentence for this one, or do we know the answer quicker? How many more reptiles are there than birds? Well, we know that 5 is 1 more than 4, so there is 1 more reptile than birds. And then it asks, how would the graph change if we added 4 more birds to the bird category? So if I added 4 more birds, there's already 4 here, so now I'm going to add 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, now let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now there's 8 birds. What other animal type has the same amount of animals? But the mammals also have 8. Now there's more birds than there is reptiles, and there's more birds than there is fish. That's how our graph would look a little bit different if we added 4 more birds. Let's look at our problem set for today. So number 1 says, complete the bar graph below using data provided in the table, then answer the questions about the data. So you're going to use your data where it says birds, fish, mammals, and reptiles, so that you can answer and make your bar graph below. Then you're going to answer the questions below that. So A, how many more animals are birds than reptiles? B, how many more birds and mammals are there than fish and reptiles? C, how many fewer animals are reptiles and fish than mammals? And D, write and answer your own comparison question based on the data. Your question and then your answer. Number 2 is the same kind of format. So you're going to use your data from the bar graph, from the tally of the chart, and then in a table, and you're going to create your own bar graph, but this one goes up and down, whereas that one went to the side. Then you're going to answer the questions that go along with it. So A, how many more animal habitats are in the grassland and Arctic combined than in the desert? B, if 3 more grassland animals and 4 more Arctic animals are added to the graph, how many grassland and Arctic animals would there be? C, if 3 animals were removed from each category, how many animals would there be? And D, write your own comparison question based on the data and answer it. Question and answer. That is all that we have for today. So great job, guys. If you have any questions, we will be doing our Zoom meeting today at 1 o'clock to answer any questions you have, and so that I can help you through the problems if you need. I can't wait to see you guys there. Bye, everyone.